As the world mourns Pope Francis, history's most secretive transfer of power begins. White smoke, the path to a new pope, guides you through this momentous transition. We explain exactly what happens next, leading to the dramatic conclave vote. Learn how each ritual unfolds, what each tradition means, and why these ancient ceremonies still matter today. Follow along as the throne of St. Peter stands empty and a new chapter in church history begins. White Smoke, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey folks, Garrett Fisher here. I need to tell you about this absolutely mind-blowing podcast, Acting President, that's been keeping me up at night. It's about James Bennett, a former governor starring in a hit Sunday night TV show about overthrowing the government, and then his actual former chief of staff approaches him to do it for real. The line between fiction and reality completely disappears when these course correction rallies start popping up everywhere. Is it brilliant marketing or something more sinister? The parallels are insane. Trust me, this is the political thriller you didn't know you needed in your life. Acting President, available now wherever you find podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Pope Francis will be laid to rest Saturday in a funeral that reflects his vision of a simpler papacy, though the ceremony will still maintain much of the grandeur associated with papal funerals. For those wishing to view Pope Francis's funeral, here's what you need to know. The funeral will take place tomorrow, Saturday, at 10 a.m. Rome time, which is 4 a.m. Eastern Time. The ceremony will be held in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. For viewers in the United States, major networks including NBC, CBS, CNN, and ABC are all planning to broadcast the event, as are websites including the New York Times. The Vatican's own news channel on YouTube will also provide a live stream, as it has been doing for the preceding rites. International viewers have several options. In Canada, CBC Television and CTV are expected to carry the service. British viewers can watch on Sky News and the BBC. Brazilian coverage will be available on Globo News and CNN Brazil, while Spanish viewers can tune in to Televisión Española's news channel 24 Horas. Pope Francis's funeral will take place in front of St. Peter's Basilica, with the Mass presided over by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, the Dean of the College of Cardinals. The ceremony will follow centuries-old traditions, but with modifications introduced by Pope Francis himself last year, reflecting his desire for a more modest and humble service. These changes include the use of only one wooden coffin instead of the traditional 3. The Mass will be a solemn Catholic service with prayers and Bible readings in multiple languages, reflecting the universal nature of the Church. It will feature Latin and Italian prayers, with additional readings in Spanish, English, Arabic, Polish and Chinese. The procession will begin with cardinals and bishops in white vestments, gathering beforehand at the chapel of San Sebastiano and the Braccio di Costantino. The service will conclude with the Ultima Commendatio, final commendation, and the Valedictio, farewell, during which Cardinal Re will entrust Pope Francis's soul to God. After the Eucharistic celebration, the Pope's coffin will be briefly brought back into St. Peter's Basilica before being transferred to the Papal Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore across Rome. Francis chose this basilica due to his lifelong devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary and his personal connection to the shrine, which houses the ancient icon Salus Populi Romani. He will be buried in a simple tomb with only the inscription Franciscus in line with his wishes. Following the funeral mass, Pope Francis's body will be interred at Santa Maria Maggiore rather than St. Peter's Basilica, as is customary for most popes. This was a personal decision by Francis, who requested a simple, undecorated tomb as a final gesture of humility. According to his will, he wished for his last earthly journey to end at this very ancient Marian shrine. The public will be able to visit his tomb starting Sunday morning. The funeral marks the beginning of the Novem Dies, a 9-day period of mourning with special masses offered throughout Rome. As the world mourns, attention will soon turn to the selection of Pope Francis's successor. A conclave is expected to begin around May 6th, when 135 cardinal electors under the age of 80 will gather in the Sistine Chapel to choose the next pope. In a break from tradition, Francis's body was moved from the Vatican guest house, where he lived and passed away, to St. Peter's Basilica on Wednesday. Unlike his predecessors, who were processed through the Apostolic Palace, Francis's coffin was carried on a short walk under the open sky. Inside St. Peter's, his coffin was placed close to the ground, allowing mourners to feel closer as they paid their respects. The funeral service will still feature solemn Catholic pageantry, with 252 cardinals in attendance, a number nearly 100 more than when Pope John Paul II passed away in 2005. Despite these simplifications, including the participation of all clergy in the Mass, Francis's funeral will remain a major global event with numerous heads of state, monarchs and dignitaries in attendance. The service will be accompanied by Latin prayers, incense, hymns, and Gregorian chants. Ultimately, the ceremony will reflect Pope Francis's vision for a less hierarchical church and a return to simplicity, epitomized by his choice of burial in a plain tomb at Santa Maria Maggiore. Much like his namesake, St. Francis of Assisi, with 170 international delegations converging on the Vatican for Saturday's funeral of Pope Francis, delicate diplomatic protocols are in place to navigate potentially tense encounters among world leaders. Following Vatican tradition, most delegations will be seated alphabetically, but using French language order, a system designed to prevent awkward diplomatic confrontations during this solemn occasion. This arrangement means US President Donald Trump won't be seated near Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, whose recent White House visit resulted in significant tension. Instead, the American delegation, listed under États Unis in French, will likely be positioned between delegations from Eswatini and Ethiopia, and not far from France. There are exceptions to the alphabetical seating. Representatives from Italy and Argentina, Pope Francis's native country, will occupy front row positions. The Italian delegation, the largest from any single nation with approximately 70 members, will include President Sergio Mattarella, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, and several other top officials. The seating hierarchy continues with members of Catholic royal houses, followed by the Grand Master of the Order of Malta, non-Catholic royals, and then other government representatives. Nations sending heads of state are given precedence over those represented by prime ministers, ministers, or ambassadors. The United Kingdom will be represented by Crown Prince William and Prime Minister Starmer, while royals from Belgium, Sweden, Norway, and Monaco will also attend. Spain's King Felipe and Queen Letizia will participate, though Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez will be absent. Notably missing will be Russian President Vladimir Putin and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, both facing international arrest warrants. Russia will instead send Culture Minister Olga Lyubimova, while Israel will be represented only by its ambassador to the Holy See. The funeral will feature strict dress protocols as well. Men must wear dark suits with long black ties and matching badges on their jacket lapels, while women are expected to wear dresses with black gloves and veils. Pearl necklaces are the only permitted ornamentation.
You can get this podcast completely ad-free right now. If you're on Apple, just click the banner that says Uninterrupted Listening, and you'll get your first month free. If you use Spotify or other podcast players, go to calaroga.com/plus. It's just $5 a month, and you'll get access to over 20 premium shows with no interruptions. Binge listen to new series like the political thriller Acting President, Signal Lost, where military secrets land on the wrong phone, and Pager Protocol, the thriller about exploding pagers in the wrong hands. Plus, enjoy daily shows like Palace Intrigue about the royal family, daily comedy news, and 5 daily trivia questions to test your knowledge, and White Smoke, taking you behind the scenes at what's happening right now at the Vatican. You also get all our hot shows like 5 good news stories. Enjoy your favorite content without any ad breaks. Remember, Apple users click the uninterrupted listening banner for your free first month, and everyone else head to calaroga.com/plus. Get ad-free listening today.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
On Friday, all mobile phones in the vicinity of the Vatican received an emergency message from authorities. The message warned that access to St. Peter's Square will be shut from 1700 local time today. The Pope is lying in state until the funeral on Saturday morning, but public access to the queue to see him will end this evening at 1800 local time. Extra security measures are in place in and around the Vatican ahead of Saturday's funeral, when dozens of heads of state will be in town. Mounted police, sniffer dogs, heavily armed soldiers, and Air Force members with handheld jammer guns for drone protection are visible throughout the area. Despite the security presence, the atmosphere remains relaxed. Many visitors are taking photos with police or asking for directions as they make their way to St. Peter's Basilica to file past the Pope's coffin. The Vatican reports that many of the cardinals who will be eligible to vote for a new pope have not yet arrived in Italy. Inside the piazza, preparations are well underway for tomorrow's ceremony. Hundreds of chairs have been arranged in neat rows, with red benches placed near the marble staircase and platform just outside the basilica doors. We'll continue to have daily updates for the foreseeable future. Please join us every Sunday for our regularly scheduled episode of White Smoke, The Path to a New Pope, where we explore humanity's most elaborate and secretive transfer of power. White Smoke is a production of Calaroga Shark Media. Executive producers John McDermott and Mark Francis.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.